Welcome to HP's AP Gov Student News. I'm your host, Victoria Berger.
And co-host, Sydney Lucas.
And today, we will be discussing the topics of Ebola,
ISIS,
the protests in Mexico and Hong Kong,
Ferguson,
and immigration. So let's begin. Starting with Ebola. Click here to see HP's last student news report to learn the basics of what really happened. Next, in terms of recent developments, as of November 23, 2014, there have been 15,935 suspected cases of Ebola.
The death toll has since increased to 5,689 individuals.
Moving on to ISIS.
French authorities have backed off on their claim of identifying one of the French men in the video of the beheading of American aid worker Peter Kassig from ISIS as Mikel dos Santos.
The CIA estimates that more than 100 foreign fighters for ISIS have come from the U.S.
40 fighters were killed on both sides when Syrian Kurdish forces and ISIS militant forces clashed in Kobani, Syria on November 28th.
Now for international protests. Starting in Mexico, Mexicans are protesting the abduction and suspected killing of 43 students by the Mexican government 2 months ago.
Protesters have burned buildings and have denounced President Enrique Peña Nieto, calling him a homicida.
Moving on to Hong Kong. Pro-democracy protesters have occupied the streets surrounding the general government complex since September.
Actions of civil disobedience have resulted in police brutality, including the use of pepper spray, tear gas, and beatings.
Hi, I'm Jade Donato. I'm with HP AP Gov Student News. So this is Mrs. Wood. Mrs. Wood, what is your opinion on the Hong Kong protests?
The umbrella protest. They had a right to do it. The government is not upholding their end of the bargain, allowing them to have some freedoms. I'm not sure what stage it is at right now, but it is something to follow because hopefully they will be able to get their rights that they deserve to have, that I fought for.
So far, there have been over 100 arrests of people, and it's been getting very violent. So do you think that has any effect on the protests?
I think most protests, if they're exposed and it's handed out to the news and everyone is aware of it, then there will be more reaction to it and it'll probably end quicker.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Wood.
You're welcome.
Now, we will pass it off to our co-anchors, Amy and Jade, who will talk about immigration.
Thanks, Sid and Victoria. Now, we're going to address the ever-pressing matter of immigration.
Recently, President Obama made an address to the nation and Congress on the controversial issue of immigration.
When I took office, I committed to fixing this broken immigration system, and I began by doing what I could to secure our borders. Today, we have more agents and technology deployed to secure our southern border than at any time in our history. And over the past 6 years, illegal border crossings have been cut by more than half. Although this summer there was a brief spike in unaccompanied children being apprehended at our border, the number of such children is now actually lower than it's been in nearly 2 years.
According to the Pew Research Center, there are an estimated 11.2 million undocumented immigrants in this country, half of them being Mexicans. The issue of immigration is controversial, with the two parties that are very polarized on the issue of deportation and easier routes to authorization.
And with the newly elected Republican majority in Congress, this issue probably won't be dealt with soon.
Well, will anything get done?
Probably not. Does it get done now?
No.
Republicans believe that undocumented immigrants should be deported because they are breaking America's immigration laws, not paying taxes, and have the potential to hurt the American job economy. Republicans are in favor of increased deportation, strengthened border control, and a more stringent process to become a citizen.
Liberal politicians, however, believe that immigration reform should make it easier for immigrants to become citizens rather than deporting them. In 2013, Democrats tried to introduce an immigration reform bill that would loosen the guidelines for citizenship, but was rejected by the Republicans who had the majority in the House.
On November 20th, President Obama used his ability to make an executive order that would substantially reform immigration policy. This reform would offer a legal reprieve to the undocumented parents of United States citizens and for permanent residents who have lived in the country for more than 5 years. This will expand the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, which was passed in 2012, which allowed immigrants under 30 who arrived as children to apply for a deportation deferral. Immigrants older than 30 now qualify, as do more recent arrivals. Both groups, however, will have to reapply every 3 years to keep their status. In his address, Obama urged Congress to make a bill and to pass a law, or he will do what he sees as necessary.
I am Matt O'Connor.
And I'm Frank Valvano.
This is AP Gov Student News.
Now on to the story in Ferguson, where unarmed teen Michael Brown was shot by Darren Wilson in August. Protests have been intensifying all over the country, especially after the decision not to indict Officer Darren Wilson for any charges leading to the death of Michael Brown.
On November 17th, Nixon declared another state of emergency and activated the National Guard.
On November 24th, the grand jury decides not to indict Wilson on any crimes. November 24th to now, protests have been erupting in major cities across the country. November 28th, protesters boycott Black Friday shopping and closed down 3 malls in suburban Missouri. And Darren Wilson resigns from the Ferguson Police Force on November 29th.
Hi, I'm here with physics extraordinaire and my good friend, Miss Min Savage. Why don't you tell us your opinions on the Ferguson decision?
It was a tough call. No matter what the jury came back with, everybody wasn't going to be happy, regardless of what they came back with. So,
Good point.
thanks.
Thank you.
And now, let's take to the streets to find out the students' opinion on these matters.
Hi, we're with Mr. Lunetta's third period English class.
We're going to ask them some questions about the current events that we've been talking about.
Okay, so let's go over here to Royanne. Royanne, how many people do you think are currently diagnosed with Ebola?
In the U.S. or like everywhere?
Everywhere.
Probably a couple thousand.
A couple thousand, just like take a guess.
1,500.
1,500. Okay. Does anybody else want to take? Krupa wants to take a guess. Okay.
Like 4,000.
4,000. Does anybody else wanna go? Yes.
8,000.
8,000.
Because of part testing, this year at HP, midterms have been replaced with quarterlies called benchmarks. This change has been met with much controversy among students and teachers. So, HP Student News has taken to the catwalks to ask students and teachers about their opinions.
Hi, I'm Victoria Berger. I'm here with HP's AP Gov Student News. I'm here with the wonderful Stephen Schiffner. Stephen, why don't you tell us how you feel about benchmarks?
Sad.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Hi, I'm here with senior Melissa D'Elia. Melissa, why don't you tell us how you feel about benchmarks?
Personally, I don't like them. I like midterms better because they give you more time to study. You have half days, whereas now with benchmarks, we're really unprepared for when they're going to be. We really don't know. And not only this, but we are given other quizzes while we have benchmarks.
Well spoken. Thank you, Melissa. Back to you. Hi, I'm here with freshman Chris Mita. Chris, why don't you tell us how you feel about benchmarks?
I don't like them.
Why don't you like them?
Because they're wasting my time and other people's time.
Well,
Go back to midterms.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi, I'm here with Austin Huckle. How do you feel about benchmarks?
I feel like benchmarks are better than midterms and finals because they're shorter and easier, and I don't know, I just like them better.
All right.